Well, hello, folks. It's never too late to go over AEW Wrestledream, and by golly. Now, I did do a short the other day because I just had to off the reports, and well, it was rumored going into it, and Christian and Darby in the main event, which was very good. Still, you had to see it, and I mentioned it, but Adam Copeland in AEW, which, by the way, thanks to everyone who's tuned in to that short and giving a like and whatnot. Thank you. That's got over 200 views. Jeez. Thank you. But, yeah, as a whole, Wrestledream was very good. Very good. First couple matches were hit or miss. But I would say once we got towards once we got to the Fatal 4-Way tag team match, it was really kind of okay, unpredictable, but was good. The Kris Statlander and Julia Hart match, that was pleasant. Julia Hart, she really come a long way. And that she's still really young. So, her and her gimmick, I've already talked about a bunch, but yeah, she's done very well in a fair match for Stat, who is number one in AEW, should be, if not already. Yeah, but got the 4-way tag team match, and then it became about Hangman and Swerve, and you knew what was going into it, what was riding on this match for Swerve. It turned out to be, as you'd expect, a very good match between him and Hangman, and Hangman took the L. He was basically the villain, and Seattle, which, Swerve is from Washington, so he had basically the home field advantage. But yeah, very good match with those two. Very glad for Swerve. He puts him in a unique situation because the mid-card titles and what is going on with them. Yes, he could do Phoenix for Swerve, but I don't know. After being Hangman, you most certainly would like to see MJF for Swerve, but on the flip side, MJF Shay White match was teased for Wednesday, which, by the way, they didn't do much to follow up with the mass attacked on Jay White on Wednesday, but I imagine tomorrow we'll get some more clarity and more advancement as far as that development is, the trios match was good. With Don Callis family, Jericho, Omega, and Bushi. That was fun. FTR and Aussie Open. I think that was a fairly good match as well. But the reality is, it felt like there were too many matches on the show in a way. I mean, there were 10 matches on the main card. 10. And did not need to be. I liked Yuta and Ricky Starks. Didn't need to be on the show. For starters, I mean, there are certainly a couple others you could pinpoint. Excuse me. Definitely wouldn't have taken off Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr., considering how just brutal that match was. I mean, both those guys are definitely going to still be filling that match. But we'll see. Zack actually called out for a rematch, so we know how Bryan has longed to go to Japan. So, maybe a thought that this rematch could certainly go to Japan or maybe Wrestle Kingdom early 2024. It's certainly a thought. But yeah, Wrestledream all in all was very good. And the ending, just with Adam Copeland saving Sting and Darby, that was just very, very good. Very, very good. And I'm sure everybody, last I checked, it was still trending number one on Twitter or YouTube, but yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all. We'll get into all of the review and the show, or my thoughts on how the show went and everything. So, but before we get into, thank you. Like, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, pro wrestling reviews, etc. But Wrestledream was good. Yes, I did see Collision, but I thought with the schedule, it was probably just better to upload or Wrestledream for that matter. So, Anyways, guys, thank you, and let's get into show, shall we? So, people complained about MJF not defending the AEW title on this show. Instead, he defended the Ring of Honor tag team titles against the Righteous in the handicap match, which was about as good as it could have been. You know, MJF, whether it was the double clothesline, the double or kangaroo kick, here was the body slam versus Dutch, the big guy of the Righteous. He's been able to get moves over for reaction, and he mentioned about that in the scrub, comparing, his kind of Darby, he wants to get moves over and away so that way he doesn't have to do crazy stuff like, for example, Darby does, or whoever. That's certainly good. So, that's just fine. Dutch did manage to hit a big boss man slam for 2. So, while Dutch had the referee distracted, Vincent was going in with a chair, but caught, I don't know if it was a belt or something, to the nuts, and poor Vincent. So after, of course, MJF was hyping up the power slam on Dutch. Finally, it happened, which got a pop reaction. Then after, MJF hit the Heat Seeker on Dutch for the win, and MJF retains the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. My guess is they're going to continue to play in this story, have it lead towards Adam Cole in the whole scenario, and then ultimately afterwards, the Kingdom is going to beat MJF for those titles, and maybe that's really what happened. Because, this match was kind of definitely could have been more without Adam Cole's injury, but alas, it happened, and there we were. So, we'll probably see Adam Cole probably next time in 2024. So, we'll see. Katsuyori Shibata versus Eddie Kingston for the Ring of Honor World title. I think part of the reason why people also felt very about the start of the show, from at least what I heard, was because the Ring of Honor stuff, really, first two matches kind of opened the show, Shibata, etc. The Righteous, but this match I did enjoy for what it was. They beat the heck out of each other, as you expect, Shibata, give or take, but yeah, they back and forth shots one after another. I believe there was a point where Kingston was locked in a figure four by Shibata, but Shibata ultimately had to break up the hold. But Kingston won here with kind of the same way or the same move he did to beat Claudio a couple weeks ago at Grand Slam with a powerbomb 1-2-3 on Shibata after they had a very good moment of respect. So yeah, it was good to see. Julia Hart versus Kris Statlander for the TBS Championship. Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough good things about Julia Hart. House of Black, her gimmick, her entrance, just, it's one of the best in AEW, if not pro wrestling now. Yeah, just where her theme and everything ties in together. Now, it is obviously unfortunate that we've only seen, two fourths, a half of House Black, really, since they've lost those trios titles to the Acclaimed at All In, which, to be honest, haven't really done anything with those titles. But yeah, Malachi Black said he's nursing an injury, saying he should be back soon. I mean, we've obviously heard conflicting reports about Malachi Black, and he's a guy that MJF put over, should be a main event level guy here in AEW. But alas, probably, upset with how things have gone. By Matthews, he's another great part, or a great wrestler here in AEW, but alas, he's another we haven't seen in a while. But match was fine for what it was. So Julia, during this match, targeted the ribs of Kris. And Also a moment where, excuse me, excuse me, that Julia went for the miss, or tried to, but Kris actually knocked the miss out of Julia's mouth. So that was a nice little spot. Also, it was nice to see Brody King kind of talking trash to Kris Statlander while ringside. So that was good. But Julia made her case during this match. After the miss was knocked out, Julia started twisting Michinoku for a near fall. So they were on the top, and Julia, who's been adding to her repertoire with very good moonsault, which she's been winning with the last couple of matches. She was on the top rope with Kris and threw her off the top, and ultimately hit her moonsault on Kris, but due to her ribs, and I like that they made mention, she didn't kick out. She had her foot on the bottom rope. So Julia actually managed to lock in the Heartless, but Kris countered first to a pin, but it didn't work. So she muscled her up and hit one tombstone and then hit Sunday Night Fever for the win. And Kris retains against Julia Hart. Great stuff. Great stuff. Fatal 4-way tag team match. Returned the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We had the Guns versus the Lucha Brothers versus Hook, Orange Cassidy versus the Young Bucks. This was wild, as you expect, I already voiced my opinion about Hook and Orange Cassidy in this match, but nonetheless. So, there was a nice little spot. Dating back to the New Age Outlaws and, the father of Austin and Colton. So, for those who might remember, so the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg, and Bill Young, in the late 90s, there was like a fatal 4-way tag team match. They wound up being both legal competitors in the ring. And one of the guys ended up pinning the other, and they wound up retaining the tag team titles, and they made a rule about that. So, in this match, there was a similar spot. So they wound up both being the legal competitors, and then they went for a pin, but the ref didn't count, and the Guns were arguing with the ref, so that was a bit funny. The match, though, really picked up when Penta got in there because, with the Lucha Brothers, but we saw a preview of the match on Wednesday between Nick Jackson and Phoenix, which is okay. I think I did like the exchange between Matt Jackson and Hook because Hook has those very good throws, and obviously with those Northern Light suplexes, so it was a bit of a unique back and forth. But once Penta got in, you know, went crazy, hit a big made in Penta or made in Japan on Austin. Hit a big tope over the top. Nick, so locked in a kind of looked like he locked in his dad's submission, basically a red rum on Austin with the legs in. So they were down, and Nick Jackson out of nowhere, he had 450 on both. Which, kind of took out Austin for the time being. Then they hit, he and Penta hit a assisted fear factor on Orange Cassidy, which took him out for the match. The Bucks hit super kick parties on both Colton and Phoenix, and then followed up with a BT trigger on Penta for the win. And the Young Bucks kind of had a feeling. Won this number one contenders match to face now FTR. And Full Gear is in California. And, I can't, Tony Khan is about making some moments, and, if I'm gonna be honest, if I had to choose where I'd rather see the Bucks win the titles, would have been at Wembley. But if I'd guess, they're going to win the titles in the fourth match in California at Full Gear. So we'll see. But good match for what it was. Yeah. But they got to do more diligence now on the tag division. I mean, yeah. And then this was the real first big match of the show. Hangman versus Swerve. Again, you know, seeing Hangman get basically villain treatment in Seattle, that was unique, as well as, of course, Swerve is going to have the home field advantage and get a good amount of love in Seattle. Was fun. His entrance, it's joy to watch, especially because Prince Nana, he is so hilarious. With the way he dances, I mean, it's just hilarious to see. But yeah, this match was arguably the most important match of Swerve's career, and he certainly aced it as expected. So, Hangman had the advantage for a while. He hit a powerbomb to Swerve on the apron and to the barricade, followed up with the Aria moonsault to the outside, followed up with a sit-out powerbomb for a 2. If there was one critique, maybe Hangman should have been more heel-ish in this match, but nonetheless, yeah, suicide to the outside, then back in the ring with diving lariat. Mounted his comeback here, a leaping flatliner followed a big suplex for a near fall. Swerve actually managed a swerve song followed a house call, kick to the side of the head for a 2. Page managed a dead eye on the steps, which basically they were double down both on the outside. Swerve then was targeting the arm of Page. Really wrenching at it, trying to prevent the buckshot lariat or being as effective. So he actually managed to hit a stomp on the arm and then went for an armbar, but Page fired back, hit a victory roll, but only with one arm for 2. Page managed to hit a buckshot, but again, favoring the arm. So, Page went for the cover. Nana, who put Swerve's foot on the bottom rope, got ejected. So he threw his crown in the middle of the ring, and he was distracting the ref as he was leaving. Page got upset. Back in the ring, Page got wiped out by the crown used by Swerve, but Page kicked out. So then Swerve managed to get not one but 2 house call sidekicks to the head. Followed the JML driver. 1, 2, 3. Swerve beats Hangman. And a very good match. Very important match for Swerve. Just a fun experience. Fun match. And where does Swerve go from here? try to keep up that momentum. We'll see. But happy for Swerve. Sar was basically born in Seattle. So if there was one match, as I mentioned, that could have been slid from the show, it would probably be this one coming up. Ricky Starks and Yuta, which was a fun match, but, could definitely have been saved for main events of Dynamite or Collision, for that matter. That and maybe, the A Kingston Shibata match certainly would have made it flow better. Yeah, so Sark's basically won here with Spear, Rochambeau, beat Yuta, clean. I love Jon Moxley on commentary, basically this whole night. I mean, it was hilarious. Apparently got fined during Claudio Josh Barnett's match on the pre-show. So, guess he's probably feeling better after that match versus Phoenix. So, yeah. Next up, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson. A match we were supposed to get last year. Bryan wasn't medically cleared. So alas, we get this match here, and very good. Very good. Zack Sabre Jr. style is a very particular style, very technical, very submission-based, savvy. So, I mean, I get it. He's not everyone's cup of tea. But last first, Bryan, this was an intriguing match. It was a dream match, basically. And yeah, these guys certainly beat each other up, and it's going to be felt for both these guys. Are going to feel the effects of this match for a while. So, alas, both guys were trying to find an advantage for a while. So, yeah, they had some dueling uppercuts. Eventually, they were just like, screw it. Just got the better chin. So, Zack, after a while, started targeting the arm and the shoulder of Bryan. He had this one wrenching lock on the ground where he is basically wrenching the arm with his body weight as he was turning. Bryan landed some tough dragon screws on Zack, which, brutal and targeting the leg and knee of Zack. They exchanged some kicks. Zack wound up in tree of woe, taking some mighty kicks to the chest. And then finally with the roundhouse kick and stomps to the face by Bryan. They wound up in a heel hook, and they were at the point where they slapped each other. So yeah, this is fun. Zack hit a side slam, out of the ring, or near the ring. Finally, Bryan got the advantage back, hit one final flurry, a roundhouse kick, back suplex into a psycho knee. 1, 2, 3. And Bryan gets the victory over Zack. Now, they both mentioned they want to see who the best technical wrestler in the world is. Thing is, this was finished by pinfall, not submission. So, Zack called him out for a rematch in neither England or Japan. And I'm no betting man, but if I had to guess, Wrestle Kingdom. And Bryan has talked about wanting to go to Japan for years. Well, rematch. Bryan, Zack, Wrestle Kingdom. If this is supposedly his last final year of full time, then Bryan is not in the shape to, of course, I bet he wants to, but at this stage of his career, it's probably not great for him to go for the G1 climax. Just because, his injury history and the way he's at in his career. But so, we'll see how the match goes. But, or possibly a rematch. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Despite, not much build, the dream match, their history. Still, very good match. You got Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi for Don Callis family. And Sammy Guevara, Konosuke Takeshita, and Will Ospreay. So, pretty quick during this match, they broke out into a hockey fight, 3-on-3. And then the big faces hit stereo dives over the top. It was great to see Omega. Well, it's crazy, but last time they were in the ring was Forbidden Door. And the trilogy match needs to happen. So, excuse me. It was good seeing them in the ring again. Which again, trilogy might be at Wrestle Kingdom. We shall see. I mean, if it did happen at All In, it's probably going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom. That's my guess. But, yeah. Ospreay and Ibushi in the ring again. Yeah. Ibushi and Takesha. That's interesting dynamic as Don Callis family is target. Ibushi as their next target. Nonetheless, it's a fun match. Nosuke may have the best blue thunder bomb in the business right now. And then a big senton by Sammy. Jericho got the hot tag. Really went wild for Jericho as he could do. There was miscommunication between Takesha and Ospreay. But it didn't affect them too much. So, Omega Rise of the Terminator. Sammy a Spanish fly on Jericho back in the ring. Followed with shooting star to everyone on the outside. Jericho hit the Frankenstein off the top. Don Callis. As the referee was distracted. Behind Jericho's back. Knocked out Jericho with the screwdriver. Omega was being held back by Ospreay. 1, 2, 3, and Sammy beats Jericho in this trios match. Omega loses another big match after being separated from Don Callis. I mean, you look at, going back to that promo of before Kenny Omega's match with Ospreay. When he says he doesn't lose big matches, you don't have a chance. You keep thinking about that. And the fact that, he lost at All In, took the pinfall to Takesha. At All Out, Omega lost to Takesha again. And then, now he didn't take the pinfall this time, but he lost. This trios match, the Don Callis family, very good. If I'm being honest, this match kind of was in the dead spot, if I had to guess. Unfortunately for FTR and Aussie Open. It was a match. Just a SWAT after the trios match. And that, and the lack of build for this match. I mean, fact is, this could have very well been, when you look back at it, this should have been FTR for either the Acclaimed or the Guns going for the tag team titles. Because it's tough because we love FTR, but the fact is, as soon as they came back, the titles were immediately, the titles were taken off the Guns, or the titles were taken off the Acclaim to go on the Guns, to go on to FTR. I mean, very quick. And they made, back to that match, they made a big deal of, if FTR loses, they're gone from AEW. I mean, just crazy. They returned and then they got the titles back. No chase for it. Since then they've had the titles, but really what? I mean, they had some great matches, Bullet Club Gold. They, obviously beat the Bucks at All In and are more than likely going to face the Bucks again at Full Gear. But just look at the reign and look at the build, and it's just certainly a wrong decision. So, getting this match, so Cash hit a top rope back suplex during the match. Good stuff. Kind of open up. Fletcher hit a big brainbuster on Dax. Or Cash. Finally, Dax got the big hot tag. Excuse me, my notes are being funny on me. Aussie hit the Aussie arrow for near fall after Dax's involvement. Dax his rebound Liger bomb for 2. The Aussies hit their version of Doomsday Device, where instead of a clothesline off the top, is like a leg lariat or a kick off the top. So, cool to see. So, FTR, they went for their superplex frog splash combination, but Fletcher hit a dive off the top to break it up. Aussie Open had the best offensive match. They had Coriolis. Didn't get the job done. Davis got hit with a spike pile driver on the apron which, geez, again, these power drivers have to adjust. Luckily, he's going to be back, but geez. So that took out Davis for a rest match. Fletcher, he came off the top and got caught with a big shatter machine for the win. And FTR retained against Aussie Open. 1 year after they last faced each other. So yeah, good match. Yeah. Hopefully after we'll see more involvement of the tag team division, more build up. I mean, tag matches are good, but yeah, it just build and stuff. We know how good their division is. It's just story and build with it. It just needs a little more substance to help build it better. Main event. This was very good. Christian's actually second time main eventing an AEW pay-per-view. First was against Kenny Omega at All Out 2021. This case here, which earned it with how well he's been with the TNT title. He defended it here against Darby Allin, which was his first. Well, yeah, his first because the Four Pillars match was the main event. Double or nothing. So, yeah, this first main event, well deserved for both these two. 2 out of 3 falls. Quite good. A lot of variables happen at the end. So, very quick was the first fall. Darby used Christian's turtleneck against him. Basically blinded him with it, put it over his face. And then Darby with a high sack, quick roll up pin over Christian. Darby took the first fall fairly quick. So next. So Darby, typical Darby, basically throwing around, throwing that ringside into the barricade, back in the ring. He managed to hit a code red for a near fall. He was sent to the table, but then, so there was some steel steps set up close to the ring by Christian. Afterwards, so Christian threw Darby multiple times onto the steps part of the steel steps, and he was being tended to by officials and stuff, and he was counted out. And Christian won the second fall. There we go. So they brought out a gurney or a little stretcher. So Christian followed up and hit a frog splash to Darby on the disc stretcher. Say was a good spot here. So Christian Cage, Father of the Year, we know his affiliation or affection for Nick Wayne's mom. She was in ringside in attendance. Christian was basically trying to rizz her up and went in for a smooch, but Nick Wayne's mom threw a drink at Christian, and there you go. Ay. Hilarious. So, anyway, next up. So, Christian exposed the ring. Took the mats off to expose the wood. He went for a kill switch, but couldn't get the win. Darby hit a Scorpion Death Drop, followed with a Coffin Drop, but only got a near fall. And then so all of a sudden we see Nick Wayne after Christian spears the ref, taking him out. So all of a sudden we see Nick Wayne takes the title from Christian as he went to nail Darby with it. So Darby basically told Nick Wayne to nail Christian with the TNT title. And then all of a sudden we see Nick Wayne wipe out Darby in the face with it. Wayne gets rid of the evidence, and Christian pins Darby to win third and final fall, and Christian prevails in 2 out of 3 falls in the main event. Afterwards, Christian and Nick Wayne, they embraced, and Nick Wayne has seemingly sided after all this stuff with Christian Cage. A lot to get into, explain. So, afterwards, he continued to beat down on Darby. Sting came out for the save on Darby. But Luchasaurus his way, and the numbers were in the heel's favor. So Christian looked like he was about to bash Sting's head with a concerto. Excuse me. So after, all of a sudden it goes black. Pitch black. We see on the screen words feature presentation. Then we see a little thing of Edge, Adam Copeland, riding this car, and all of a sudden gets out of the car, comes back, or lights come back. You think you know him, or you think you know me. Adam Copeland, Melingus, music plays, Alter Bridge, and there is Adam Copeland. Lives in AEW. Made his big entrance. Credit to Christian, seeing his best friend actually there. Did his best not to smile, because we know he was inside, but yeah, Christian looked shocked, surprised, so Edge made his way in the ring. At first glance, it looked like he took the chair from Christian to hit Sting with the concerto. But Edge turned around, hit Nick Wayne with it, threw in Luchasaurus' face. Christian bailed. Hit spears on both. And there we go. And Christian was just left to eye him while on the stage backing up. And we saw Edge, Adam Copeland, shake hands with both Darby and Sting. And that was basically how Wrestledream ended. Very good. Not sure what to say. I mean, so different. I mean, anyone knows, I'll mention this again, anyone knows Edge was my favorite, or is my favorite WWE superstar of all time. Just when he was in his peak, there was none better. And when he retired initially, I was really sad, and cried my eyes out. And then he came back, and I was so joyful, it felt like crazy at Royal Rumble in 2020. Yeah, obviously it sucked because the pandemic happened right after, but then getting to here, and it's different because we know he's at the end of his career, But as for him, who's been with WWE for over 2 decades, now he's in AEW to finish off his career in his way with his best friend, with a new roster. He mentioned about the intriguing aspect of all the members of the roster. It's going to be unique and exciting to see where it goes from here. As Tony Khan mentioned, he's going to be full-time. He's going to be there basically every week. So, it's going to be interesting. Excuse me. But, or bless me, whichever. Anyways, it's going to be interesting, certainly, to see. But alas, there's your Wrestledream review for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, it was a bit late, but better late than never for my thoughts on how Wrestledream was. Very good. Very good. And then Wednesday, we're going to hear Copeland speak for the first time on Dynamite. So we'll see how that goes. But last, guys, thank you guys. See you guys later for Dynamite's edition on Thursday. Review on Thursday and Collision this weekend. So, thank you guys. Now, yeah. Like, subscribe. How about the video? Peace.